If you're heading into year 11 this September, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about how you can make the most of your summer, and I'm going to give you some advice from year 11 perspective going into year 12 about how the things I would have done differently, the things I suggest that you can do from now. So hopefully this video will be useful to you if you're going to year 11 this September. So you've got some weeks ahead of you now, and it's very important that you make the most of them. First thing is first, enjoy your summer. You've not got loads of time, so make sure you make the most of it. You know, enjoy yourself, do sports, work hard, play hard, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, go out, enjoy the sun. These are all very important things to do. And I'd highly recommend getting into sports, doing things like that when GCSE because when GCSE season starts to kick in, you might not be able to do as much. So make sure you make the most of the time that you've got now and prioritise the things that you want to do the most. What I'd suggest doing is making a list of the things that you want to get done. So for example, join a boxing club, start a YouTube channel, whatever, anything like that. Make a list of the things that you want to get done, stick it up on your wall, something like that. And actually genuinely do that, by the way. Don't just listen to me and think, oh yeah, that's cool, I'll do that, or whatever. Actually, do it while the video is playing. Take a pen and a paper and start writing down the things that you want to get done. Because I've probably done the same thing as you, watched someone else's video on how to spend the summer. They've told me, oh, you need to make a plan, you need to be prepared and whatnot. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I didn't, and I couldn't make the most of the summer as much as I wanted to. Now in this part of the video, we'll be talking about academics. So if you do want to revise, the two things I suggest doing is science and English. So we can start with science. When GCSEs come around, you won't have that much time to go back over things that you've done in year 10, or at least you won't do in class. At least that was the case in our school, but we didn't really have much time. In fact, we pretty much only just finished the actual GCSE content by the time exams rolled around, so we couldn't really go back and look over things. So if you can be really secured in the things that you've learnt in year 10, it will make going into year 11 much easier. Again, this is just if you want to. You know, if you're the kind of student that does revision in the summer holidays, then this bit's for you. What I'd recommend doing is going to the specification, which you can find online. Just search up AQA biology specification or whatever, something like that, and it will come up. You'll be able to scroll down and find it. From there, what you can do is you can use Anki or Quizlet. Anki is usually better over long term, so if you're starting this now, then it's a good option. Quizlet is better for short term flashcards. So I'd suggest using Anki if you're doing this now and you're watching the video at this time. But if you're watching this video later on in the year, Quizlet might be a better option for you because it's slightly quicker to use, but it's not as good as Anki is in the long term. Then what I want you to do is to make flashcards on each of the topics of your biology, chemistry, physics, whatever, up to the bit that you learn up to. So I'd suggest using the specifications topics rather than your book topics. So for us, for example, our school books, they would say B1 up to B18 or something like that. But on the actual specification, there's only B1 up to B8 or something like that, so that each topic is bigger. So I'd recommend making the flashcards based on the topics of the specification, because that way you just know that what you're learning is exactly what you need to know, nothing more, nothing less. So the way I did it was I'd have say B1 content flashcards, and then I'd have B1 practicals flashcards. By the way, as well, in terms of the specification, it doesn't have required practicals on it if you're doing AQA. So I'd recommend using free science lessons on YouTube. There's a YouTube channel called Free Science Lessons. They make videos on all the topics and all of the practicals. So they were the best YouTube channel for the practicals, I found at least. Although I do think Cognito has started making videos for the practicals. They might be more helpful, I'm not too sure, it depends, it's up to you. Cognito have better visuals and graphics. Free Science Lessons is a bit more concise. So again, it's completely up to you, whichever suits your learning style more. Now this method I've told you about, flashcards and using the specification, is pretty much foolproof. It's exactly what I used, and obviously we'll see in 12 days time or whatever about the results. It did seem to go very well for me in my mocks and in my topic tests. I think they helped me perform quite well, so I'd suggest using that method over note-taking or other things, because I found it was much easier and quicker. You can see exactly what you need to know. You know when you've made the flashcard decks, and when you start doing them, it pretty much just uploads the information to your brain. It's really cool. But yeah, again, to recap, flashcards, you can use Anki or Quizlet. Specification, you can find that on Google. And then for the practicals, you can use Free Science Lessons or Cognito if they've made them, I'm not too sure. But yeah, just try and keep your flashcards as simple as possible. Don't make them too complicated per each flashcard. You want to have a shorter amount of information on the flashcards so that you know exactly what you know and don't know, and it makes it easier to memorize things. I think I'm going to make a separate video on flashcards, so stay tuned for that as well, because that'll go more in depth about the best way to do it, how to use Anki, how to use Quizlet, the way I use them in my exams. So do drop a comment and tell me if you'd like to see that, and I'll try my best to make that video come out. Now onto English. Similarly for English, I did feel like we didn't go over the things that we learned in year 10 as much, so I would suggest going back over the things you've learned, but instead try to reframe your mind around them. So when you learn them in year 10 in school, it's kind of like you're learning the book as a normal person, if that makes sense, right? Like you're reading the book and you're studying it the way anyone would. It's different for you because you're a GCSE student. And the reason you're learning this is to sit the exam and get the qualification, right? Chances are you probably don't care about Macbeth or whatever, right? You're just learning it for the exam. So what you need to do is view it from that frame. How are you going to be tested on it? You're going to be tested on it by writing an essay with specific questions about specific themes. So if you can view it like that, prepare for it like that, it makes it so much easier. Because when I was in year 10, I didn't see it like that. I saw it as we're just learning about Macbeth. These are the characters, they do these things, this is what it teaches us, and so on. I was learning about it in the way anyone who's interested in English would, not in the sense that I'm a GCSE student, I want to get a 9, so I'm going to learn the exact way to get a 9. That's what you want to do if those are your goals. If you just want to learn about Macbeth, fair enough, just do that. But if you want to get a 9 in the exam, and that is your main focus, then view it in the context of an exam. Look at it in the sense that, yeah, I'm going to be writing essays about these, so how's the best way to spend my time? I don't know, writing essays. So yeah, I found that to be the best way for me when I was revising English, to write essay plans, write essays, ask my teachers to mark them. That's the cheat code. If you ask your teachers to mark them, you'll get personalised advice. You'll know exactly where you're going right, where you're going wrong, and it will help you so much in developing your English essays. Pretty much at the start of year 10, I was getting like 6s in English. Like, I'll be straightforward. I was getting 6s in English, and then by the end of it, I got full marks on a couple of my essays that I wrote just before GCSEs. That's how much things can improve if you're willing to practice essay writing. So do remind yourself to do this. If you'd like, you can make like a note for yourself or something when you go back to school to hand in these essays to your teachers if you do write them in the summer, and get feedback on them. Ask your teachers what they think, ask them what you could do better. Be proactive, because at this stage, at least when it gets further into the GCSE, the timing, it's important for you to take studying into your own hands rather than just revising because you need to, or because your parents are saying, or because your teachers are saying. If you look at this all with the frame of mind of, yes, these are my goals, I want to get 9s in these subjects, how is the best way to do that, opposed to, oh yeah, I'm in school, I need to learn and pass my exams just because that's what the teachers are saying. Your mind frame will be shifted and your focus will be shifted, and you'll be able to do things the way you want to do them. So I hope that made sense. If you'd like, I can go into another video separately about English and how I improved from a grade 6 to a grade 9, and I'll be really happy to make that video. So please do let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd like to see. I'm more than happy to do that. And as well, I can publish some of my essay plans that I'd written during exams. That can be useful. That was something that was useful for me, reading other people's essays, seeing the best way to do them. And as well, on YouTube, Mr. Sellers is the best English YouTuber, so I would recommend watching his videos because, yeah, they're really good and they'll change your perspective of English and of the exams. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the academic side. Oh, as well, another thing I just remembered, I hadn't written this down, but if you're studying further maths, or if you're going to take further maths as a GCSE at the end of the year, at the end of year 11, then what I would absolutely recommend doing in the summer, this summer, try and learn some of the content for further maths. We only started learning the further maths content literally 2 months before the exam. So my further maths grade, I'm not too sure about it. Like, I don't know how well it has gone in the exam. It's probably my worst subject, to be honest. Not because it was super hard, but because, I mean, it was hard, but just because I just didn't have much time to learn the stuff. So I had to really cram in actually getting the content into my head. I didn't have much time to revise it, practice questions, do past papers, that kind of thing. So if you can start learning the content from now, that'll make things really easy. If you've not been told whether or not you're doing further maths, if you're in set 1, and if your teachers mentioned it before, I don't know, whatever, you'll know whether or not you want to do it, whether or not your school offers it, most likely. So just use your own logic and reasoning as to whether it'll be worth your time studying. I know some schools take normal GCSE maths in year 10 and then do further maths in year 11. That's pretty cool. If you guys did that, and that's great. But for the rest of you, do consider that. That's something to keep in mind as well, and it might be a lifesaver for you when GCSE time comes around. Okay, now moving on to general organisation, productivity, just tips like that for the summer. If you're going to listen to any part of this video, this is the most important. Use Google Calendar. It is a game changer. The days that I do use Google Calendar, when I plan my day out the night before, my day is like undoubtedly 10 times more productive. And I'm not exaggerating, genuinely it has boosted my productivity so much when I use Google Calendar. So it's an app, you can download it, or you can use it from your laptop, online or whatever. And the way it works is it's a normal calendar. You can just set out time blocks of exactly what you want to do, and it makes tomorrow so much easier because all you've got to do is just get up and follow it exactly what it says, nothing else. You don't have to waste energy thinking about what do I want to do today, but instead just follow the timetable and everything you wanted to get done will get done. The days that I've used that in my summer, this is a thing, not even just for summer, this is for every single day. So it doesn't mean that you have to fill up your time blocks every single day with 7 to 8, go to the gym, after that revise for 2 hours, after that eat lunch, after that revise for another 2 hours. You can block out your time for the things that you want to do. Okay, so from 3 to 4 p.m, I'm going to play on my Xbox for an hour. After that, for an hour, I'm going to go outside and play football, or whatever. Or for 2 hours, I'm going to chill. Like, that's fine, as long as you're being particular with your time, as long as you're using it for the things that you want to use it for, rather than letting time just slip away to scrolling on Instagram when you didn't want to. If you wanted to, and you had told yourself, okay, for this half an hour, I'm going to scroll on Instagram, then that's fine, that's still productive, because you've been intentional with your time. At least for now, at least while it's in your summer, it's okay to do that, as long as you've decided this is the time block I'm going to do it in, and after that I'm going to stop. After that I'm going to do the next thing. And you'll know yourself how long you want to spend, how much you want to do, and you'll figure things out. You might be unreasonable with yourself. You might say, okay, today I'm not going to play on my Xbox, or today I'm not going to scroll at all. I'm going to be super productive, I'm going to do all these things, and when the day rolls around you might realise actually this is too much for me, and you might end up doing scrolling anyway by accident. And that's when you'll realise, okay, for tomorrow, I'm going to give some time to myself to do what I want to do. And that way, you won't feel guilty for doing something wrong, because you've decided that this is what I want to do. You've been intentional with your time, and you're being productive by doing that. Now, something else I would absolutely recommend is writing down all of your exams. So paper 1 biology, paper 2 biology, English lit, paper 1, English lit, paper 2, all of your exams, list by list. Stick them up on your wall so you can see visually, these are the exams that I've got to do. This is what you're going to be sitting next year in the summer. When you can see what you want to do, it breaks things down for you. You don't need to view it as this big chunk of exams that you've got to do. Instead, it's these small little challenges that you've got to overcome. And with each one, you can cross it off. You can literally take a pen and draw a line through it. And then that's it, you're done, on to the next one. It makes things so much easier, because rather than viewing it as a big, crazy thing, oh my god, this is GCSEs, this is some crazy thing. Instead, it's simple, small exams. It will just change your mind frame around it. It will help you so much, and it helped me a lot. And then I remember at the end of exams, I could, take it off my wall, scrunch it up, it was so fun. I had finished all my exams. You'll notice there's no blue thing over there in the corner anymore, how there was in some of my older videos, because that was my exam timetable. I also used to cross it off on there. And when you do that, it makes you feel good. You know that that's a hurdle you've overcome. You can move on to the next one, and it just, there's less stress about it. There's less mystery. It's no longer, oh, GCSEs. It's instead a list of 15 exams or whatever that you need to do, and they're gonna get done. If you can break this down into smaller pieces, if you can overcome them one by one, then there's just nothing to worry about. I'm going to make more videos about GCSE specifically closer to the time, so do let me know in the comments as well what you'd like to see, what will be helpful for you. Because if you do that, then I'll be able to give you more specific advice. Now, finally, a week or two before school starts, I'd definitely recommend getting into a good sleep schedule. So getting into bed at, 9:30 or whatever, start waking up at 7. You can do this gradually. Obviously, it's fine. You'll probably be waking up later in the actual summer. But when it comes closer to those final few weeks, start to just, do it gradually rather than sleeping at 12, sleep at 11, sleep at 10, sleep at 9. Just do it gradually, however you need to. But so long as you're back into a routine when school starts, things will be easier. You won't have stress. You're going to get homework, you're going to get all sorts of things. And if you're in that routine already, that's one less thing for you to worry about. The day is just better. You can start it the way you mean to carry on. And that should help you a lot. So that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please do like, subscribe, comment if there's anything you'd like to see. I'll read them all. So do let me know what you'd like to see, what you enjoyed. If there's anything you'd like to ask, honestly, do feel free, and I'll try my best to help you however I can. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.